my name is Allison. I'm the Programs, Outreach, and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Today for Adulting 101, we are going to talk resumes. I'm going to be giving you a couple of tips for how to write a good resume. The first tip is to tailor your resume to the job you are applying for. Some people have a blanket resume that they just send out to every single job, but if you want to catch the application reader's attention, or if they're using an application reading software program, you want to make sure that you are using some keywords found in the job description. This will make you stand out and will show that you've actually read through the job description and the application and are focused on the job that you are applying for. So look through the job application and look for some keywords or key phrases. Make sure those are reflected in your resume and that the experience and education that you talk about is relevant to the job at hand. The second tip is to use professional font. Now is not the time to get creative with your font. No Comic Sans at all. Times New Roman is your friend. You're going to want something that is plain and professional looking. Number 3 is to layer your resume to fit the job that you are applying for. On some resume writing websites, you might see that they say that you should always list your education first or your job experience first, but the tip that I have been told is that you should list whatever is more relevant to the job that you're applying for. So if you're applying for a job where your education will really show that you're a good candidate, you'll want to put that up at the top. But if you're applying for a job where some past job experience or volunteer experience is the best way to show that you're qualified for the position, you should put that at the top. Just like with anything, somebody who's reading through your application is going to focus more on what's at the top, and of course the attention span wanes a little bit as they're reading through your resume. So you want to put the stuff that's going to make you really stand out up towards the top. Which leads into the next tip, which is if you don't have any job experience, don't worry. Everyone has to start somewhere, but we all have experiences that we can utilize and talk about to show that we would be a good candidate for a particular position. So you can think back to any clubs that you were part of in high school. You can think to any volunteer experience that you did. Maybe you did some odd jobs for a friend or a neighbor. Babysitting, dog sitting, that's always good stuff to write down, even if it's an informal job like that, because it shows certain skills such as responsibility, reliability, dependability, and it helps to showcase some of the skills that you're bringing to the table. If you were a lead in one of your clubs, let's say that you were the president of a particular club or had any sort of position within that club, treasurer, secretary, you'll want to note that down as well. For some jobs, you might be asked to write a cover letter as well as to submit your resume. With cover letters, you want to make sure that you're not just repeating what is in your resume, but talking about a different experience or elaborating on something that's in your resume that is relevant to the job and shows why you would be a good candidate. If you just repeat what's in your resume on your cover letter, you have two documents that are basically the same, and it becomes redundant to whoever's reading it and doesn't really showcase any of your other skills. Think of the cover letter as an opportunity to elaborate on something in your resume and provide more detail. With a job interview, you always want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of every opportunity to showcase why you would be the best candidate. So the resume and cover letter are other vehicles to showcase your skills. Next, when you're sending off your resume, you want to make sure that you're not sending it from your fun email account. So if you have a joke email account or an email account that you've been using middle school and high school that's not so professional, it's probably time to create a new one. Creating an email account that has your name in it is a great way to get started because it's professional and it showcases your contact information very easily. It's another reminder of your name, and that's always good to have the person who's reading your job application have your name at the forefront of their thoughts. Lastly, most resume recommendations say that you should keep your resume to one page. This can be front and back, but you do want to make sure that you are being concise and not going into too much detail with what you're writing, because it'll get to be too much for whoever's looking at the application. They want to see the facts very quickly and concisely as to why you would be a good candidate. If you are somebody who has a lot of job experience, let's say you've had multiple high school summer jobs or you've worked all through high school at different jobs, you'll want to make sure that you're not crowding your resume with irrelevant experience. So if you've got a lot of different jobs or experiences to choose from, that's going to push your resume over the front and back one page recommendation. look for which ones best showcase why you would be a good candidate for the job that you are applying for. You can always add in other things for different jobs. I know that I personally have edited out some of my experience for particular positions because it's not really relevant to that position. And then when I've applied for something else, I've added it back in because it showcases skills that would be relevant for a different position. And those are my resume tips. I hope that it helps you to write a great resume. If you have any resume tips that you would like to add, please put them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much and have a good time writing that resume. Bye everyone.